You have not arrived at this moment by accident. There is no algorithm in the world powerful enough to override the divine appointment that has brought you here right now. If you are listening to this, it is because your spirit has been sensing a shift, a trembling in the ground beneath your feet that you cannot quite explain with logic. You have felt a target on your back. You have felt the heavy, suffocating weight of a plot formed against you, perhaps by a specific person, a she who represents a force of jealousy, betrayal, or malicious intent in your life. But listen to me closely, because what I am about to reveal will change the way you see your suffering forever. The very plan she constructed to destroy you, the very trap that was set to humiliate you, is about to backfire in a way that neither you nor your enemies could ever predict. Divine justice has arrived, and it is not quiet. It is roaring at your doorstep. But before we unlock the fullness of this prophecy, I need you to understand something critical about the season you are in. You have been feeling an intense, almost unbearable pressure. You look at your life, your finances, your relationships, your career, and it feels like things are breaking down. You feel a holy unrest, a discomfort that keeps you awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering if you have done something wrong, wondering if God has forgotten you. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment. Let me be the voice that cuts through that darkness right now. You are not being evicted from your life. You are being elevated. The discomfort you feel is not death. It is the contraction of birth. Heaven is orchestrating a relocation so massive that your old environment had to become uncomfortable just to get you to move. Think about the eagle. When the mother eagle knows it is time for her eaglets to learn to fly, she begins to remove the soft feathers and the comfort from the nest. She exposes the sharp thorns and sticks of the structure. She makes the home they loved painful. Why? Because if the nest remained comfortable, they would never leave it. And if they never left it, they would never realize they were born to rule the skies, not just sit in a branch. You are that eagle. The thorns you are feeling right now, the conflict at work, the distance in your marriage, the betrayal by that friend, the sudden financial squeeze, these are not punishments. They are the removal of the soft feathers. God is making your current level uncomfortable because you have overstayed your welcome in a season that is too small for your destiny. There is a specific person, or perhaps a group, representing a spirit of opposition who believes they have cornered you. In the title of this message, I mentioned her evil plan. You likely know who this represents in your life. It could be a literal woman, a co-worker, a rival, a toxic family member, or it represents the spirit of the harlot system, the world that tries to seduce and then destroy the anointed. She has been whispering lies about you. She has been digging a pit, planting seeds of discord, trying to ruin your reputation or steal your peace. It feels unfair. It feels like she is winning. You see her prospering while you are struggling. You see her laughing while you are crying. And you ask God, where is the justice? Why is silence your only response? I need you to lean in, because the next 60 seconds are going to dismantle the fear that has been gripping your heart. The silence of God is not the absence of God. The silence of God is the strategy of God. When a master chess player is about to make the winning move, they do not scream, they get quiet. God is quiet right now because he is setting the table. Psalm 23 says, "He prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies." Have you ever truly meditated on that? God does not remove the enemies before he blesses you. He requires them to be there. He needs them to be the audience for your elevation. That woman, that force that tried to bury you, did not realize that you are a seed. She thought she was digging a grave, but she was actually digging a garden. Her plan is about to backfire because the pressure she applied was the exact pressure needed to crack the shell of your potential so that your true purpose could break forth. Stay with me, because I am going to reveal the 3 specific signs that this boomerang effect is beginning to happen right now. If you miss these signs, you might mistake your victory for a battle and give up right before the breakthrough. The first sign is what we call the Haman dynamic. In the Bible, Haman built a gallows specifically to hang Mordecai. He constructed it with hate, with precision, and with pride. He was so sure of his victory that he boasted about it. But in a twist of divine irony that only God could write, the very gallows Haman built became the instrument of his own execution. Watch your enemies closely in this season. They are becoming arrogant. They are overplaying their hand. They are getting sloppy because they think you are defeated. This is the setup. The trap they set for your finances is about to become the reason for your supernatural provision. The lies they told about your character are about to become the platform for your promotion, as the truth comes out and reveals your integrity to people who matter. Before I share the second sign, which is often the most painful one, I want to challenge you. If you believe that God is turning this situation around, I want you to declare it in the comments right now. Write, "The trap is my trampoline." Do not just think it, type it. There is power in your confession. When you type that, you are telling your brain and the spiritual realm that you are no longer a victim, but a victor in waiting. Now, the second sign that the evil plan is backfiring and your relocation is imminent is the isolation of the remnant. You have been feeling lonely. It seems like phone calls have stopped coming. Invitations are drying up. People you thought would ride with you until the end have suddenly drifted away, or worse, turned against you. This is painful. It hurts the heart. But scientifically and spiritually, this is necessary. You cannot put new wine into old wineskins. If God allowed those people to go with you into your new season, they would contaminate it. They knew the you of the past. They do not have the capacity to recognize the you of the future. God is removing them to protect your destiny. This isolation is not rejection. It is a quarantine for your consecration. He is hiding you in his quiver before he shoots you forth like an arrow. That woman's plan to isolate you was meant to make you weak, but God is using it to make you strong, to make you dependent only on him, so that when the blessing comes, no man can take the credit. We must bridge the gap here between your spirit and your mind. Neuroscience tells us that when we are in a state of high stress or transition, our amygdala, the fear center of the brain, goes into overdrive. It screams danger whenever things change. That is why you feel anxiety. That is why your chest feels tight. But your spirit, which is connected to the eternal, knows that this is not danger. It is expansion. You are experiencing cognitive dissonance because your old reality is crumbling while your new reality hasn't fully formed yet. This is the hallway season. You have left one room, the door has locked behind you, but the light in the hallway is dim and you haven't found the handle to the next door yet. Do not panic in the hallway. The enemy wants you to panic. She wants you to bang on the old door, begging to be let back into a place that God has already sealed. Do not do it. Stand tall in the hallway. Worship in the hallway. The next door is opening and it leads to a room so large that your old life will look like a closet in comparison. I mentioned earlier that this is a relocation. For some of you, this is literal. You are feeling an urge to move to a new city, a new state, or even a new country. You feel like the grace has lifted from where you live. For others, this is a relocation of career or ministry. The job that used to fulfill you now drains you. The tasks you used to do with ease now feel like a burden. This is Isaiah 43:19 coming alive. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Notice the question God asks, do you not perceive it? It is possible for God to be doing a new thing and for you to miss it because you are too focused on the old thing dying. The enemy's plan was to keep you distracted by the chaos so you wouldn't perceive the new path. She wanted you focused on the drama, the gossip, the conflict, but today you are breaking that focus. You are turning your eyes from the distraction to the destiny. Let's go deeper into the nature of this evil plan. What was the ultimate goal? It wasn't just to make you sad. The enemy is not interested in your emotions. He is interested in your authority. The attack was sent to make you doubt who you are. If she could get you to agree with her lies, that you are worthless, that you are a failure, that you are forgotten, then you would voluntarily lay down your crown. But here is where the plan backfires completely. The fire she threw at you didn't burn you up. It burned off your bondage. It burned off your reliance on people's approval. You are coming out of this season with a backbone of steel. You are emerging with a discernment that is razor sharp. You will smell a snake from a mile away now. Her plan has inadvertently trained you to be a warrior. She thought she was abusing a victim, but she was sparring with a champion. There is a third sign, a critical revelation that proves the tide has turned. It is the sudden exposure of hidden things. Luke 8:17 says, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." Lately, have you noticed that truths are surfacing out of nowhere? You find out information you weren't looking for. Someone slips up and reveals their true colors. Documents are found. Emails are sent to the wrong person. This is the backfire in motion. God is stripping the cover off the enemy's operation. That woman who plotted in secret is about to be exposed in public. But here is your instruction, and this is vital. When the exposure happens, when she is revealed and her reputation begins to crumble, do not gloat. Do not rejoice in her downfall. Scripture warns us not to gloat when our enemy falls, lest the Lord see it and turn his wrath away from them. Your job is to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Let God be the judge. Let God be the jury. You just keep walking into your new season. I want to speak to the financial aspect of this relocation, because for many of you, this is the area of greatest attack. You have felt a supernatural resistance in your finances. Deals fall through at the last minute. Unexpected expenses drain your savings. It feels like there is a hole in your pocket. The enemy wants you to believe this is permanent poverty. It is not. It is the drying up of the brook at Cherith. When the prophet Elijah was fed by ravens at the brook, it was a season of supernatural provision, but eventually the brook dried up. Why? Because God had a widow in Zarephath waiting to sustain him, and through that interaction, a greater miracle would occur. If the brook hadn't dried up, Elijah would have stayed there and missed his next assignment. Your old sources of income are drying up because God is shifting your economy from labor to favor. He is moving you from working for every dime to receiving harvest from vineyards you did not plant. The enemy tried to bankrupt you to break your spirit, but God is using this financial pressure to push you into new streams of income, new business ideas, and a new level of trust that will lead to wealth the world cannot touch. This brings us to the concept of divine displacement. You must understand that every major figure in the Bible had to be displaced to be deployed. Abraham had to leave his father's house. Joseph had to be sold into Egypt. Moses had to flee to the desert. David had to run to the caves. If you feel displaced right now, if you feel like a stranger in your own life, rejoice. You are in the company of kings and prophets. You are being prepared for a territory that you do not yet possess. The her in your story, the antagonist, is merely the usher pushing you toward the exit of the comfort zone so you can enter the throne room. Now I have a very serious question for you. Are you willing to let go of the old to grab hold of the new? Because the trap often works like a monkey trap. Hunters catch monkeys by putting a banana inside a jar with a narrow neck. The monkey reaches in, grabs the banana, and makes a fist. But the fist with the banana is too big to pull back out of the jar. The monkey is trapped, not because the jar is holding him, but because he refuses to let go of the banana. The enemy's plan relies on you holding on to the past, holding on to the offense, holding on to the need to be right, holding on to the old relationships. If you want to see her plan backfire, you must let go of the banana. Let go of the need to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Let go of the need for closure from people who hurt you. Your closure is the opening of the new door God has for you. Drop the offense, pull your hand out of the jar, and walk away free. That is the ultimate revenge, your joy, your peace, and your success. As we move deeper into this reality, I want you to visualize something. Imagine a slingshot. To launch the stone forward with power, you must first pull it backward. The further back it is pulled, the greater the tension, but also the greater the potential distance it will travel. You have been in the pullback phase. It feels like you are moving backward. It feels like you are losing ground. The tension is immense, but God is saying, I haven't let go yet. You are not regressing, you are loading. The enemy thought she was pushing you backward into obscurity, but she was actually helping God pull you back into potential. And any moment now, perhaps even as you listen to this video, the finger of God is going to release that slingshot. You are going to fly past your enemies so fast they won't even see you go. You will achieve in 6 months what would have normally taken you 10 years. This is the acceleration of Amos 9:13, where the plowman overtakes the reaper. But there is a warning I must give you. As this shift happens, as the justice of God begins to manifest, you must guard your heart against bitterness. Bitterness is the drinking of poison while waiting for the other person to die. If you allow the actions of her, that enemy, that situation to make you bitter, she wins. Even if she loses the battle, she wins the war for your soul. You must forgive. I know it is hard. I know what she did was evil. But forgiveness is not exonerating her, it is freeing you. It is cutting the spiritual cord that ties you to her. Say it out loud right now, even if your voice shakes. I forgive, I release, I am free. When you do that, you disarm the enemy completely. You take away the only leverage she had left. Let's talk about the new home God is preparing. Whether this is a physical house, a new spiritual community, or a new mindset, this new place is characterized by peace. The primary sign that you have arrived in your place of promise is the absence of the chaos you have grown used to. Some of you are so addicted to the struggle that peace will feel boring at first. You will be waiting for the other shoe to drop. You will be waiting for the crisis. But God is saying, no, this is your new normal. You are entering a season of Sabbath rest. The wars you fought were for a purpose, but you were not created to be a soldier forever. You were created to be a ruler. Rulers rest. Rulers govern from a place of seated authority, not frantic fighting. The plan to keep you in perpetual warfare has failed. The season of peace is here. I want to share a secret about spiritual warfare that few people talk about. The enemy attacks you according to your future, not your past. If you were a nobody, if you had no destiny, the enemy wouldn't waste ammunition on you. The intensity of the attack is the proof of the magnitude of the calling. That woman, that opposition, saw something in you that perhaps you didn't even see in yourself. She saw the light of God. She saw the favor, and her jealousy was a demonic recognition of your value. Take it as a compliment. The darkness only hates the light because the light exposes it. You are a threat to the kingdom of darkness simply by being who you are. So lift your head. You are not a victim of bullying. You are a target of greatness. Now, as we prepare to seal this word, I need you to take a practical step. You must prepare your vessels. In the Bible, when the widow needed oil, the prophet Elisha told her to borrow vessels from her neighbors, empty jars. The oil only stopped flowing when the jars ran out. God is ready to pour out justice, provision, and restoration, but He needs your capacity. How do you increase capacity? By expectation. Start cleaning your house. Start organizing your finances. Start dressing like the person you are becoming, not the person you were. When you prepare for rain, you dig ditches. If you are asking God for a new season, but you are still living in the habits of the old one, you are not ready. Show God you trust Him by preparing for the arrival of the promise before you see it. The backfire is already in motion. The sleepless nights she wished upon you are now visiting her. The confusion she tried to sow in your family is now in her camp. But for you, the sun is rising. Malachi 4:2 says, "But for you who revere my name, the sun of righteousness will rise with healing in its rays, and you will go out and frolic like well-fed calves." Can you see yourself frolicking? Can you feel the lightness returning to your spirit? That heavy blanket of depression is lifting. That fog of confusion is evaporating. You're about to have the last laugh. Not a laugh of mockery, but a laugh of pure, unadulterated joy. Sarah laughed when Isaac was born because it seemed impossible. You are about to have an Isaac moment, a miracle born out of a dead situation. Listen. The world is noisy. There are a million voices vying for your attention, but you tuned into this frequency for a reason. This is your confirmation. If you have been asking God for a sign, this is it. The doors that closed were God's protection. The people who left were God's pruning. The pain you felt was God's preparation. And the enemy's plan? It was God's pawn. He used the enemy's malice to push you into your destiny. It is checkmate. The game is over, and you have won through Christ who strengthens you. I want to pray a prayer of activation over you. I want you to receive this with your spirit open. Father, I thank you for the person listening to this right now. I thank you that you have seen every tear, heard every sigh, and recorded every injustice. Lord, we declare today that the plan of the enemy is dismantled. We declare that the trap has snapped and they have escaped. We speak confusion into the camp of the enemy and clarity into the mind of your child. I decree a holy relocation. Move them from the place of pain to the place of promise. Move them from the land of lack to the land of overflow. Let the she who plotted against them see your glory on their life and know that you are God. We forgive our enemies, Lord, and we release them into your hands. We choose peace. We choose joy. We choose the future. In the mighty name of Jesus, we seal this prophecy. Amen. The shift has begun. Do not look back. Remember Lot's wife. She looked back at the burning city and turned into a pillar of salt. Salt is a preservative. She was preserved in the moment of her past. Do not get stuck in your past. Look forward. Your future is bright, your path is clear, and your God is with you. Before you go, I have one final challenge for you. If you receive this word, if you truly believe that the tables are turning, I want you to share this video with 3 people who you know are going through a battle. Be the vessel that brings hope to them. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications on, because the next message I have been given is a direct instruction on how to handle the wealth transfer that comes after the justice. You do not want to miss that. You are loved. You are protected. You are chosen. And her evil plan, it just backfired completely. Walk in your victory, entendido. Segue a continuação imediata do roteiro, mantendo o tom, o estilo e a profundidade exigidos, focando na expansão do tema, o efeito ricochete e nas dinâmicas espirituais e psicológicas desse processo, totalizando a extensão solicitada. However, walking in victory requires maintenance. You see, when a trap backfires, there is a shockwave, and you need to understand the physics of this spiritual reversal so you do not get caught in the debris. Many people win the battle, but lose the peace because they do not understand what happens after the shift. You need to understand the anatomy of her collapse. This is not to gloat. This is to understand the divine law of retribution. Newton's third law states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This is not just physics, it is spiritual law. Whatever energy she hurled at you, jealousy, slander, malice, has hit the shield of faith you carry and is now ricocheting back to its source with compounded velocity. Let's go deeper into this. There is a psychological concept known as projective identification. She projected her own insecurities, her own failures, and her own darkness onto you. She tried to make you carry her baggage, but because you have stepped into your identity, because you have refused to agree with her lies, that projection has nowhere to land. It is returning to her. And this is where you will see the first sign of the backfire, the exposure of the heart. Luke 8:17 tells us, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." You don't have to expose her. You don't have to post the screenshots. You don't have to tell your side of the story to every mutual friend. The truth has a vibration, and lies have a shelf life. Watch closely over the next few weeks. You are going to notice a phenomenon I call the unraveling. The very people she turned against you, the flying monkeys she recruited to do her dirty work, will begin to see cracks in her mask. It usually starts with a slip of the tongue. She will contradict a lie she told months ago. She will show a flash of rage that doesn't match the situation. And those people who gave you the cold shoulder, they will start circling back. They will start asking questions. They will begin to realize that the villain of the story was actually the narrator. Now, here is a critical warning. When they come back, do not rush to let them in. Discernment is your gatekeeper. Just because the truth is out doesn't mean access is granted. Before I explain exactly how to handle these returning people, I need you to understand the second phase of the backfire, which is arguably the most intense. It is the spirit of Haman. In the book of Esther, Haman built a gallows 75 feet high, intended for Mordecai. He was obsessed with Mordecai's destruction. But the very morning he went to ask the king for permission to hang Mordecai, the king asked Haman, "What should be done for the man the king delights to honor?" Haman, in his arrogance, thought it was about him, but he was forced to honor Mordecai. The backfire wasn't just that Haman died on his own gallows, it was that he had to publicly honor the one he tried to shame. This is happening to you. The she in your story, whether a boss, a family member, or a false friend, is going to be forced to watch your elevation. And this is the torture of the narcissist. Witnessing the success of the victim they claimed was worthless. Psalm 23 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." Have you ever wondered why God doesn't remove the enemies before he sets the table? Why does he make them watch? Because your vindication must be witnessed. The backfire is not just her falling. It is your rising while she watches, powerless to stop it. This eats away at the ego. It destroys the false narrative. Now, I want to challenge you with a hard truth. Are you ready for this? Sometimes we delay the backfire because we keep engaging, we keep checking their social media, we keep asking about them, we keep feeding the energy cord. You must cut it. Starve the beast. Indifference is the highest form of spiritual warfare against a toxic plotter. When you stop reacting, you stop feeding their significance. You become a gray rock, uninteresting, unmovable, solid. When you withdraw your attention, they are left alone with their own demons. And trust me, that company is terrifying. I want you to pause for a second and think about the last time you felt the urge to defend yourself against her lies. That urge is natural, but it is a trap. Silence is not weakness. Silence is a container for power. When Jesus was accused by Pilate, he gave no answer. His silence was so profound that the governor was amazed. Why? Because innocence doesn't need to scream. The backfire happens in the silence. While you are silent, God is loud. While you are working on your business, your family, your spirit, God is working on your reputation. There is a specific mechanism in the brain called the reticular activating system, RAS. It filters information based on what you focus on. Her RAS is focused entirely on your destruction. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you. And strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuzazara readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.